Can hear me. I'm currently standing in the passageway of the shed, which is normally clear and it's just concrete and the cows walk along it. But last night, and has happened quite a few times recently, this trough in particular decided to flood the whole shed. So frustrating. I managed to catch it a little bit quicker that time because I've been checking it because it's been a problem. There's a bit of a puddle that's spilled out under the barrier there, but I put a clean bale down the passage here last night to soak all the moisture up, and then I'm just about to go and put the bucket on and scoop it all up to clear it. But I'll show you what the problem is. These troughs, they're designed so you can tip them. I'll show you. Where can I put you down? I can't. There's a lever there. You pull that out, put it that way, so that if a cow's dirty in it, look, they're spotless clean, and that's because you can tip them out, which is great, but the valve and the float is designed in a way that allows the trough to tilt, and it's a problem. And we have particularly low pressure here at this yard, so it makes it even worse. So under here, there you go, it's happened again. So that float should be, you can see how loose that is. I tightened it up last night and it's loosened itself up again. That brass fitting, that threaded piece goes right the way through. There's a small collar on the inside and it joins into the plastic fitting. Brass straight onto plastic is never a good fitting for starters, so that's not great. And then also this float it always loosens itself off. I need to get this square first and I need someone to put you down. Yeah, that's going to have to do you. Or let me go and get something to put you down on. They're just a pain. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know how to change them. I like the aspect that you can tip them out, but I don't like the aspect that you flood sheds. It is so frustrating. Let me grab something to put you down on. But it doesn't help because, like I was saying, low pressure. The fact that the trough's completely empty. When the cows have a good gulp, the flow into the trough isn't quick enough to kind of keep it at a decent level. So the float goes right the way down, and as the water rises gradually, the float kind of spins a wee bit out the way. And then once it spins a wee bit out the way, that's it, scuppered. Grab this. If anyone's got any suggestions, both right now and if you're commenting on the video that isn't live later, let me know your thoughts, because there's bound to be other people out there with the exact same troughs. And whether they have the exact same problems or not, I don't know. Come on. Right, I just need to get these cows out of here for starters. Let me get them. That's not lined up right now, pointing down the way. But, so, I need to go and get an adjustable or a spanner so I can twist that down a bit, tighten up the locking nut against it so it's pointing down the way. But the issue is the brass fitting into plastic. That's never a good fit, and it never really goes tight fitting. You could try, someone's commented, you could try adding a lock nut on the valve thread into the plastic fitting. Alright, do you mean in there? There's no space. You can see that fitting's right up against the shield, so I can't shift that out a bit to get a nut in there. I see what you mean though, that's a decent idea, but there's no space. What's the temperature there right now? The temperature is pretty mild, it feels like 10 degrees or something. Tom Pemberton has dump troughs that don't move. Yeah, I think he's got like the bottom release ones, which seem better. You have no space, yeah, exactly, no space to shift it out and put a lock nut in there. But the thing is, other people must have these troughs, and I've not heard of any other problems. If you've got these troughs, let me know down below, and if you've done anything to change it or if it just works. The float, you just loosen off that wee connection there to line up your float. It's so annoying. What happens is the cows drink it dry and it's low pressure, so that float goes right down there, and as it fills up, the whole thing just tries to twist, and then boom, spills everywhere. Need to go and get some spanners so I can line it all up right. But that's 2 out of the last 3 nights I've flooded this passage. A bit of work, but could you cut the middle bit out and put a normal ball cock in to make a longer cover? So you're suggesting take out that plate, shift it across to put a full ball cock in there? I could, yeah, but then I've still got the same problem, I think, with this brass fitting on the plastic. I did think about whether putting a ball cock in, but I think it just gives me the same problems. I don't know what to do here. Thread lock maybe? Yeah, possibly. Would thread lock work in there with the plastic? I guess it would. Yeah. There's a wee collar in there, so... Oh, Jesus. There is a... I don't know if you can see it. There's a wee bush. Yeah, you can see it. See the wee galv steel bush? So this piece threads into the steel galv, and then there's another piece that threads out the steel galv into the plastic. Why don't I wear wellies in with the cows? Good question. I should. I just don't. Anyway, let's get this scraped out. Or CT1 seals everything. Yeah, it's not a problem of sealing, it's just a problem of rotating threads I can't get to lock because I need to talk to the guys at Bateman, see if they've had these problems before and a solution, whether I just make them a permanent trough that can't rotate. And I could put just like a dump valve on the bottom of them, just weld a valve on. Looks like there is a collar on the fixed part of the trough. You can drill and tap it and then use a grub screw to bite into the side of the valve thread to stop it turning. Yeah, that would work. That's a good idea, actually. Let me have a look. So you're suggesting drilling and tapping that collar there and putting a grub screw in to hold it to stop that brass bit from rotating? That would work. To be fair, this one's been better recently. Would an outside tap type fitting work to fix a back plate into the metal plate somehow to stop it turning? Possibly. Bane of my life, these troughs. There is, I think, 2 major, not major, yeah, verging on major now. 2 things I would we are going to change in this shed. So first of all, those troughs, figure out the solution to them. They are a problem. And second of all, the curb. We didn't put a curb in there, and that was a mistake. So we're going to retrofit a curb. Also, the bottom of all the steel posts, they're just lying in dung right now. It's not going to be good for them. So I put a curb in that also kind of covers up the bottom of the post, so there's no dung leaning up against them, just so they don't start to rot and go weak. Because that's where you get your metal wearing away, is at the bottom going into the concrete, where it's surrounded by bedding and dung. You see it on old buildings and steel beams. These bits here, if they're surrounded, you just get weakness over time. It just rots. You can actually see it in a trough around here. Not a trough around there, a shed around here, an old shed. It's had plates welded on to save it. I'll show you. They're normally 2 nuts, one for the outside and one for the inside, so you tighten up both sides. But I see what you mean, but you'd be tightening onto the trough. A few people have suggested putting another locking nut in there, but it's not actually pushing up against the collar, it's pushing up against the trough, which doesn't work because the trough needs to be able to rotate. There you go. Old shed. You can see it particularly in there. See that? It's just rotting away. That just happens to steel that's lying in bedding for a while. Hey Doug. These beasts in here are getting on fine. I've just bedded them this morning, so quite content. They're all having a chow of some straw. Still need to sort out that side. We need a new trough in that corner because it leaks like a sieve. It's relatively tight in there just now, so I want to get them spread out a bit. Gives them a bit more room. Also means your bedding lasts double as long. You bed that side, it's probably last 4 or 5 days. There's the digger, and the mess of steel I've left next to it. All bits that need to go to the scrappy. There's still bits to take down here. That wall is eventually all coming down, but don't know when. Need to decide because we need to line up. Resheeting that building, it's a joiner has half of it, and then this other half we were going to use a little bit like a workshop. So we need to take that wall down, put up new beams on this side because they're all rotten. Resheet that whole side. Probably need a wee door here for ourselves. Don't need much of a workshop here, just a few spanners, a wee vise, a pillar drill, just a hammer, just to do odd jobs and get yourself out of a pinch. Yeah. Where's the Doug? There's the Doug. Here. Come here. Sit. Come on, you're on live, you need to perform. Sit. Where are you going around in circles? Here. Sit. Yes. Paw. Yeah, good dog. There's the Doug. Well, if you've not already, there's 300 and something odd people watching. Click like. 60 likes. Come on now. Don't need the lights anymore. What do I make of the Fendt overalls? Yeah, good actually. I've worn these a lot. They're pretty good. If you wear boiler suits, you know you get rubbish ones and you get good ones. Is that many gates to open? I would rate these overalls an 8 out of 10, maybe a little bit more. Any new crops you're willing to try out this year? I have actually. We've been doing quite a lot of work with SAC at the moment to work on our ration for the cattle. So we are low on protein in our mix. So what we're going to be doing, so we mix, I'll show you the feed, we mix 6:1 ratio barley to rapeseed meal, and then some minerals in there as well. And that's all they get. So here it is. we've actually changed the coarseness of the rollers on the bruiser. So it used to be a lot finer and a lot more dusty and stoory, but we were doing too much to it. You just need to crack the pea open, and that's enough for the rumen to be able to break it down and then absorb the minerals that are in it. If you give them really, really fine product, it kind of can go through them a bit and more potential for acidosis. Anyway, we've made it coarser, and the pellets, what we're going to be doing now is we're mix 4 parts barley to 1 part rapeseed meal. So these analysed at a lesser protein than we thought. So they were analysed a few years ago and they were 38% protein or 36. This year they've analysed at 28% protein. It's the same with kind of the barley and everything this year. It's just very much low in protein. So we've got soya that we use for the hen feed. So we're going to mix in some soya. We're paying a lot more money for the soya, but we can't go too heavy with the rapeseed pellets because they are bitter, right bitter. Yep, they're still bitter. I regret doing that. They're bitter, so the palatability of it isn't phenomenal. So if you mix it too heavy a ratio, the cattle do push away the rapeseed pellets out of the meal. So we're going to up that a bit, the meal, chuck in a lot more molasses. So we've worked it out to be 70 litres per tonne of barley. We're putting the molasses on it, which is quite thick, but it'll make it more palatable. We'll get that. We'll get 300 kilos of soya. Is that into a 1 tonne mix of barley? I'm trying to do the maths. I worked it out the other day. Anyway, we're adding soya into the mix to up the protein. We need to get it up a fair bit. We've got loads and loads of energy because these came out at like 16% or 16.5%. What's the energy? Anyway, 16% energy or whatever it was. Really high energy, but we're lacking on protein. So that's what we need to work on now. Up the protein levels just to get the most out of our cattle. The calves that are through there that I've just shown in the shed, they should be doing, once we get our protein sorted out, they should be comfortably at this age doing about 1.3 kilos a day. So we're just now getting our heads around all that. Now we're up to numbers and we're into routine in here. We can now focus on getting the diet right, getting the feeding right, and getting the grass right, getting the silage all good now that we've kind of got our head around everything else, because it's all well and good saying, no, fancy 100 cows, but there's a lot that goes into 100 cows. You've then got 200 head of stock kicking about. Well, a couple of months ago you do anyway, plus your 100 cows, plus your silage to feed them all, plus your bruising and your barley and your protein sources, and yeah, just quite a bit to think about, but we're getting there. I think another 18 months and I think we'll be comfortably into a full routine where we know mostly what we're doing. You'll still be on the learning curve, but we'll be starting to flatten off a little bit. Did Gate Lady like the cow in the garden? She wasn't too bothered actually. It didn't make too much of a mess because it was dry and the ground was hard. If it had been wet and soggy and it squelched all over the garden, I think I would have been in trouble. Right, where am I going to plonk you? I've got nothing to mount you in the... Well, I could do that, hold on. I've got my violently red hoodie on. Hello from South Australia. Hello, hello. Welsh hoodie. Nah, it's not quite Welsh. It's more... this is classed as a soft red. It's not very soft, is it? Right, let me set this up and then we can go and actually do some work. South Australia. What time is it in Australia? What's the weather like? Where's everyone watching from at the moment? And what's the weather like? Today here it is a great day. It's really mild, it's really swung in temperature. I've actually, if some of you remember, we put in a base station, or SA Smart Rural, put in sensors all around the shed. There's 4 sensors in the shed, 2 soil temperatures outside the shed, and another temperature sensor outside the shed. So I've just got round to figuring out, logging on and getting all the details, and it's really interesting watching the temperature curves. We get like CO2 data from in here. So when that passage flooded, you could see the change in CO2, and it kind of spiked for a little bit longer. You can see the air quality and whatnot. But anyway, night before last, it was -6, and now it feels like 10 degrees. It's such a swing. It's not great for the cattle. If it's 0 to 5 degrees every day, that's fine for the cattle. Cold and dry, we like it like that. We don't like warm and muggy and damp. Have I cleared the gate lady's office yet? No, not quite. But don't tell her. 8:30 PM on Saturday, currently warm and wet. Was that South Australia? Braco, same weather as me. Yeah, it's a lovely day, apart from the mugginess. Right, let's get you plonked somewhere. Get some cattle dealt with. Oh, jeez. Are you gonna sit there all right? This looks ridiculous. There we go, right. Let me know if you can hear me or not, or whether the audio is all kaplunk because the forklift's on. Watching from a very mild Northern Ireland, 11 degrees C here this morning. Yeah, that's what it'll be. Someone check what the temperature is in Perth. I don't need this Tammy on. But you can get them on the Globeburn Farm Shop website. You can still hear me? Oh, you're tapping against the window. Yeah, someone check the Perth temperature, tell me what it is. It feels like 10, 11 degrees. Someone's watching from Falkirk. Do you want to see how I've got you set up? It's a bit ridiculous. You're plonked right there. Right, let's drop this spike. I want to get the combine shifted. I'm just working away at getting bales shifted. I need to get it in a bit because the weather does get at it a little bit there, and moisture gets in about those pulleys. You can see I'm working away there. Take a couple rows back and then I'll get the combine right in there, and then I can take bales away from that side. That's the soy I shifted the other night. Undercover so it's not soggy wet. Nine degrees here in Scone, yeah, so it'll be about the same. Like a spring day in Armgrove. It is like a spring day. Mild and sunny South Northumberland. Just finished feeding my cows. I would probably have been done if I hadn't started this live video. 10 degrees, 11 degrees, 9 degrees. Watching from Tipperary Island. Don't forget to click like. I point up the way because on my screen it shows it there. Right, let's get you back in there. I can still taste rapeseed pellets. I can see why the cattle go off them if they're too thick in their feet. The molasses should help. 12 degrees here in Stonehouse, 12 degrees in West Dunbartonshire. It is a mild day. When I talk about the sensors, that collects the data from all the sensors. There's a box in there with a receiver, wee turbine, and that bit's all wee solar panels to charge. There's a trickle charger for a big battery that's in there. That collects all the data from all the sensors and then puts it up to the cloud, and then I can get it on my phone, and the guys at Smart Rural can get it as well. What do you think our chances are like in the Six Nations? Pretty good, pretty good. Yes, I'd say I'd like. Whoa, where are you going? If we can get a top 2 finish, that'd be good. Watch I don't wipe out the gates here. I'm just getting you in a decent position. the bedding is because of the flood. So I'm just straightening up my wheels. How was the Merlo compared to the JCB? Interesting question. I wish I'd done more kind of with it. It was just, we had it at a busy time. We were drilling, and I don't know what I can't remember what I was doing. Kev was drilling, and we had two forklifts out of action, so it wasn't like you could go and do loads of work with it to really get your hang on it. But I was pretty impressed by it. They do is it a 38 or a 37.810? 3610. Basically a 3.6-ish ton, 10-meter boom on it. That to me sounds real nice. I don't think JCB do as compact a model of forklift with that size of boom. And then it's like the long term, how's the Merlo going to last? You can't tell that obviously off a demo. Have to do a bit of research and see what they're like, kind of keeping them for, well, this forklift's 20 years old next year, and it's had a few issues, but nothing major. Gearbox, engine, no problem. Not had any major hydraulic problems with this. Leaks, that's common with all machines that have hydraulics on them. So yeah, would a Merlo you buy today, would it do 20 years with not too many problems? Or is it the kind of machine you'd maybe start looking to be changing every 3 to 5 to 6 years? I don't know. Quite impressed by it though. Definitely when we come to changing our forklift, which, well, we've got an 05 and a 2015, so if you look at it like that, next year roughly, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely consider it anyway. It wasn't a no. I'm not so sure about the Merlo seems to change dealers quite regularly. And you know what it's like with these machines, the service is a massive part of it. So if they chop and change dealers all the time, you're less inclined to maybe go for the machine. Oh, these flooded troughs. So frustrating. JCB 53595. Yeah, is that not got quite a... Is that a bigger... Is that the same chassis as the one we've got? There, we've got a 53660. Scotland, Perth and Kinross. There you go, Jake. Well, I know in lockdown they went up in value above the people had paid for them. Yeah, that was just all machinery did the lockdown. Just because couldn't produce them fast enough, couldn't get bits. Second-hand values went like that as well. But, I mean, the prices of... Did we price a forklift last year? 2 years ago? Not that long ago, and it was like, oh my. Same with the sprayers, it's just, oh my, oh my. There's nothing you go and buy this. I've seen that. The Vicon furch spreader that we bought, I thought it was a reasonable deal. That was the first piece of machinery we've looked at and priced for ever. Gone, yeah, it's a fair deal. Getting offered a decent amount for the trade-in, decent spreader. I'm real happy with that machine actually, so far. Touch wood, stands the test of time. A lot of water, who's saying that? A lot of water where? Lying on the ground? Am I going to Llama Farm Show? I don't plan on it. I don't go to a lot of shows. I go for a day maybe to the Island Show. I used to go a bit more when I used to work at it. Setting up the cattle in the sheep pens like 3 weeks before. And then part of that you'd get your ticket for the whole show, so I was at it more then, but that's when I was at uni down in Edinburgh, so it was on the doorstep and I had accommodation in Edinburgh. I need to start selling beers at shows, don't I? Bandit beer, Bandit stout, get a wee stall. Tricky with the Highland show because they are all Innis and Gunn have got the contract for the whole thing, so it's not like you can compete with them, can you? And that'll be part of the contract, they get exclusivity. Maybe the smaller shows though. 11 degrees, sunny, Afford, a lot of water in the muck. Yeah, this isn't, if you obviously didn't join at the start, this bit flooded and I put a bale down last night to soak it all up. Trough flooded, frustratingly. What's everyone at today? Of the, right, there's 350 odd watching. Tell me your occupation. Well, no, don't tell me that. Tell me if you are a farmer or not a farmer. I want to know the split. Just say farmer, no farmer. And someone work out the maths, or work it out. Non-farmer, farmer, non-farmer, farmer, cattleman, that's a farmer, no farmer, farmer, no farmer, no farmer, no farmer, farmer, and accountant, interesting. Non-farmer, non-farmer, farmer, farmer, non-farmer. That's pretty dead on 50-50 split. Interesting. And the non-farmers, there's quite a lot of non-farmers actually, it's maybe more 60-40 non-farmer. The non-farmers, now tell me a split. Are you working in agriculture or have a connection to agriculture or not at all? Just say connected, not connected. Although everyone is in a little way. No connection. Oh, no. I'm a fool. I thought you were saying no connection as if I dropped out and you couldn't see me anymore. Not connected, not connected, not connected. Wow. There's way more people not connected to farming than I thought, of the non-farmers. So it was roughly 60% were watching were non-farmers, and of them, what, maybe 80% are not connected? 70%? Interesting. Very interesting. Another 2 buckets out of this passage and then that's it. Done in here, and then I can jump over to the right side. Let's just scrape this back a bit. Oh, I can't see very well there. get a skid steer? You think? I've also thought about, on the far end of the shed, out that gate, we need to do a bit of concrete for doors anyway, so whether we do a lot more concrete, well not a lot more, but enough that we can just push everything out the passage over like a wee ledge into like a small midden that we can then just scoop up from. Oh, then means don't need to use the bucket knife on the concrete. Didn't get like a scraper, but front mounted for the forklift. Push everything out the other end and then just scoop it out the bunker or the wee midden. Maybe worth considering. It's either that or we put boards up at the far end to push up against. I'm undecided. 100% just push it straight out. Yeah. Have I found something for the bucket blade yet? No, not yet. I just about ordered it the other day, but I couldn't find my wallet for the card details. That might change my approach. If you're watching at the moment and you haven't clicked like, click like. Who's watching on a telly, by the way? There you go, give me the split of TV to phone. Grew up on a farm, but we didn't grow anything or have a lot of cows, just animals. Grew up with animals, work in an animal shelter. Interesting, whereabouts, Shelby? iPad, someone's watching on an iPad. I wonder if my wee helpers are watching. Desktop, phone, TV, tablet, TV, phone, TV, iPad, phone. More TVs than I thought. Ooh, I'm sweating in here. Who's watching that's tried the beer? Or stout? Phone, because you're live, but normally TV. Oh, Shelby's watching from Michigan. Cool. Whereabouts Michigan in America? That just reminds me of that guy, the video, the heads up game. He pulls things out of a hat. That's not a magician, that's Michigan. Had the beer, had the stout, haven't tried it. Yeah, I don't ship to America yet. Can the beer be purchased in the US? Unfortunately not. Prefer it in bottles. Yeah, a few people do prefer it in bottles, but just the logistics of bottles is a pain. Like, it's such a nightmare. And way more expensive. Since we've done cans, we've not had any emails about broken cans or leaking or anything like that. The bottles, I think we shipped out maybe 600 cases of bottles, and we had probably 20 emails about breakages, and that's us probably sent out now, how many is that, 7, 14, maybe like 1800 cases of stout and lager, not a single breakage in cans. Beers are class, keep making them and I'll keep buying them. Good man, Stephen. They've gone down well, and like that's the tricky thing with, it's easy enough selling something once on YouTube because, well, same if I was watching someone else and they made something, I'd be like, oh, I'll try that. Sorry, I'm right up against the barrier here. But I think the hardest bit is trying to get like repeat purchase. So no, it's been going well. I'm real happy with how the lager's worked out, and yeah, looking forward to what we're going to do next year and wherever we go with it. I've no massive grand plan, just keep going. If the demand's there, keep making it, try and make other new things, and it works. I mean, it's our own malt barley. I really enjoy it, it's interesting. I consume it myself. Whiskey next. I have considered whiskey so many times, but I hate this stuff. I'm really sorry. Some people will take offense to that. If I liked whiskey, then it'd be a no-brainer. It'd be done by now. It'd be aging right now for 3 years. And at Yard 3, there's a business. The guys make summer harvest oils from our rapeseed meal. From our rapeseed, they press the oil. They press the oilseed rape. They make the oils, salad dressings, things like that. The byproduct we feed to the cattle. But the same guy, Mark, he started doing whiskey a couple of years ago. Maybe, no, it must be more than that. 3 years ago, because he's just got hold of some of it now. So it's obviously aged for those 3 years. It has to become whiskey. And he's doing that with the barley that's grown at Yard 3 in Chaffrey whiskey, it's called. So I'm sure if we did something together, we'd be able to do a CrawfordsFarm whiskey. And obviously we grow the barley down there, so it's our barley. It'd be great. But is it a bit of a fraud to do it if I don't like the stuff? Make your own brewery, cut out the middleman. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to, but the guys I work with at Wasted Degrees, you go up there and you just speak to them for half an hour. Just the knowledge, like they have so much knowledge on making alcohol, on making beers, stouts, lagers, all of it. And it's not just a simple case of, yeah, I'll just do it myself, because serious learning curve to get to there. Maybe in the future, and maybe the guys who Wasted Degrees would help me. But you say cut out the middleman, but the middleman, and effectively they're getting a cut because of the knowledge they have learned over the years. And they're like so good to work with, so easy to work with. I think they probably appreciate a wee bit that they get a little bit of a spin-off from the viewers and whatnot and the social media aspect of it, but they're, yeah, top notch. If you're ever up in Blair Athol, definitely go and visit them, Wasted Degrees. Try some of their stuff. My opinion, there is a whiskey for everyone. You just need to keep trying different distilleries. Glenmorangie is my favourite. Buy a few apples and make a bit of cider. Yeah, I almost made a bit of cider this year. I just pulled out just because I was just stuck at doing other things and didn't get around to it all. But I'd need to. And we don't grow apples. We have, between this farm and home, there's probably like, there could be 10 apple trees, which isn't loads, but it's enough to get quite a few apples off of. I probably need to buy some apples in to dilute that, or to make enough. And then you could go down the cider route, and it is technically made from our own apples, just not all of them. I reckon I'll get a cider going next year. Again, there's guys at Lost Orchards. Fraser husband, a friend of mine, through Dundee Way. They make cider, Lost Orchards. So I did give him a message saying, would you do a CrawfordsFarm, a Bandit cider? He's not got back to me yet. He said he'll look into it. And in Wasted Degrees they do cider as well, so, but they don't do it till like February time. So they collect the apples now. They do a cool thing. If you deliver them 10 kilos of apples, you get a free cider. So if you've got a tree and you've got 100 apples and nothing to do with them, take them there and you get a few free ciders in return. Right, the whiskey thing. What's people's opinions on the whiskey? I didn't read. At least I won't be drinking the profit. That's a good point. Maybe I need to go and do a tour of loads of whiskey places and find one I like, and then convince myself I now like whiskey, and I can start making it. Long payback though. Start producing now and obviously has to sit for 3 years. Who knows, you might have all unsubscribed in 3 years time. Might have been cancelled for breaches of health and safety. Never. And then I'm stuck with loads of whiskey. I'm not big on whiskey, but do like bourbon whiskey. Lost Orchard stuff is good. Yeah, I think they've won a few kind of taste awards and stuff. Theirs is made from red apples, not green apples. I'm not going to try and tell you the ins and outs of what they produce because I don't know it. It's cider. I don't drink cider much personally, so I'm not an expert. Macallan Rolls Royce, is that the favourite, is it? To mix fruit cider, get Gate Lady and your 2 helpers to collect berries, etc. alongside apples. Yeah, I mean there's like loads of bramble bushes kicking about the farm. Nightmare to pick though. Time consuming. We'll start with a simple apple cider. We'll get that going next year, keep an eye out. We're going to do another stout next year. I really enjoyed doing the stout. I think the branding on the stout, I'm like so happy with it. So going to do that again. People really enjoyed it. Obviously it doesn't sell like a lager sells because not as many people drink a stout. We won't have anything going till I would say at least May next year. So it's just the lager that I've got left in stock right now. And the glasses. I think there's only a little bit over 100 glasses left of 600 odd, so they've gone really well. So thank you very much anyone who's bought a few glasses. Nice sweet Christmas gift. We've got none of that. We've had one email saying they had a breakage, so we sent them out some more. It happens. But other than that, pretty good. Did you tidy up? Gate Lady is home. Yeah, Gate Lady returned last night, so I am now past survival mode. I made it. Survived. It was tough. Jeez, oh. Dad's Discovery going yet? No. It's still abandoned at the garage. Deciding what to do. Dad's been looking at other vehicles. Hilux. I'm not a pickup man, apart from a Defender pickup, but like a new pickup these days. Not my cup of tea, but it's not my vehicle. So I think he might end up going down that route. And if he does, and if he's selling the Discovery for only like, he's probably only gonna get 2,000-3,000 for it. So if it's that case, I'm gonna buy it off him. I'm gonna change the engine. And in that case, if I own it, then all the onus is on me, all the cost is on me, and there's no immediate pressure to get it done. And if it doesn't work when I get it done, then again the onus is all on me. So that's the scenario. If Dad doesn't pay to get the engine changed, which is about 10,000, which is a lot, but when you're buying a new pickup for, well, he usually buys something with 10 to 20,000 miles on it, but you're still 40,000 for something like that, so it makes the 10,000 look kind of reasonable. What have I done? Do they class them as a commercial vehicle? Yeah, the Dad's Discovery is a commercial vehicle. It's only got front seats, but then it's been converted, so it is a commercial, technically. Don't tell the tax man. Yeah, And then after, is it April 25, the new double cab rules come in. Only single cabs are classed as commercial vehicles, so if he's going to go and buy it and he wants a double cab, I think he needs to do it before April. The Crawford Defender, the series continues, I know. That's the thing, if I do that, if I buy that Discovery off of Dad and do it, I need to sell something. So I've currently got a Z3 which hasn't moved in 2 years. I've got the green 110 single cab Defender, which is just round that corner, which is stuck in low box. And then I've got my normal Defender. And then I've got a Golf as well. I've got far too many vehicles. Not a lot of value in them all. The Z3 is maybe worth 1,500 quid. The old Defender's worth 6 grand. The good Defender's worth 8 or 9. And then the Golf, it's maybe 6. So all 4 vehicles are less than what Dad might have to pay for a new pickup. But they're all broken, so I'm the last one laughing. Where am I going? Oh, there's the Defender. There you go. That's been sat there for a few weeks. I need to get the linkage sorted for the high-low box. I know which bit of it's broken. I just haven't got round to it. That linkage is fine. Up and down the way is knackered. Where's the... There you go. So I can't go from low to high or high to low. I'm stuck in low. I can get diff lock, no problem. Otherwise I'm stuck. We'll get it sorted. I don't think I'll sell this. It's a good run around when it is working. It's handy having just another vehicle like that kicking about, because Kev often takes a van home from yard 1, but then we need the vans quite regularly for collecting eggs and delivering eggs and all sorts. So you generally they need to be back in the morning, whereas if the old Defender's kicking about, you just take that home with them, and it doesn't matter if it gets abandoned at a different yard for a few days or abandoned here, there and everywhere, it doesn't matter. So I'm not selling that one. I need to sell my Z3. Anyone looking for a Z3? It did run when I parked it up 2 years ago. 3 litre Z3. Goes like the clappers. I'll do you a good deal. I shouldn't have said what it was worth earlier. It's worth about 3 grand. Right, let's let all these beasts back out. Passageway cleared. So if we had a curb in there, that bedding would just push up against the curb. You'd be able to run your bucket against the curb on this side, and it'd be just a bit nicer and neater, and it would save the bottom of these posts. So that was a mistake, taking the curb out. Let me plonk you down again. Did anyone say they were looking for a Z3? No, no one. Funny that. Damn it. Sorry, I'm just getting the legs out on the tripod. Instead of curb, you can put in wood that can be removed. Yeah, could do. A few people have suggested kind of railway sleepers and those kind of options. They're all pretty happy there, aren't they? They're all getting up now. They think they're getting grub. Do you think you'll get flattened if I plonk you there? You might do. Instead of a curb wood, oh, I've seen that. Bandit beer with free Z. A raffle. You could raffle the Z3. I don't think many people would buy a ticket. I think loads of people would buy a ticket for the Defender because it features on the channel a lot. You see all these raffle things, like win a load of cattle or win a free tractor. Glorified gambling, I think. That's a good idea though for the check that trough. That was close. Just about cows back out of grass. Flipping heck. Pay attention. You're distracting me. Trying to sell a Z3. Heart rate's going a bit there. All the mooing has scared your cat. Yeah, that was a close call. What's my thoughts on slatted sheds? I think if you're into tankers and doing all that, yeah. But we don't have the, I don't know. I don't really know a huge lot about slatted sheds. Where would you spread stuff? Like this time of year, you just make a mess all over the fields. At least the dung, you can store it. Are the slatted sheds you meant to be able to store for quite a while? Or then you need a storage, big, what do they call it? Lagoon. It's a lot of infrastructure, isn't it? Dung suits, just pile it all up, spread it in the springtime, happy days. How are we getting on with ploughing? Fantastic. I will spin you around and show you. You can just about see everything from here. So, that yard there, that's yard 3. So that's where the summer harvest oil's made. That, you can see a field over the road there, so that's ploughed. This stubble field there still needs ploughed. That's not our field. Up the back there, fields are ploughed at that yard. Yard 4, see that white house? Just over the top of that white house. Yard 4 is all ploughed up. Yard 2 is all winter crops, so it's all sown up. Nothing to do here. So it's only, it's just one field at yard 3 to do. And then that's yard 2, 3, 4 done. And then, I don't know how much there is at home. At Globeburn, yeah, 150 acres maybe, 200? Yeah, getting so, like Kev's just been ploughing all this week. All last week. Great. What total area we were farming? Oh, there's actually 2 more fields back there. 1,300 and something. Is it just about 14? In about there, 1,400 acres, 1,300 acres. We put down 1,000 to 1,100 acres of cereals ourselves, and then we let out maybe 150 for carrots, peas, potatoes, broccoli, just a bit of everything for rotation. And then there's the rest is pretty much either yard or grass. That's all grass, that stretches right down the bank in there. That's all where all the cows are. There's another 20, 30 acres of grass along the road at yard 1 that cows are usually on. So yeah, about that. What do we think about the French farm protesters in the EU, South America free trade deal? Oh, I didn't know there was a... Is that a new... Have they just announced that free trade deal? And they're now protesting? I saw them protesting, but I actually didn't know why. Most important question, Bandit beer or Bandit stout? For me, wow. I actually think I would pick the stout. The lager's great, but the stout's phenomenal. There's a sales pitch for you. How about shed updates, likes and dislikes? Yeah, I will do a video on this shed now that we've been in it for a while. I'll put that out probably in January just because I am away in New Zealand, so I'll make a few videos for when I'm away. I'm filming a little bit when I'm out there as well, but upload that then. What else have I got? I've got another couple of ideas I need to do. A big slurry tank, yeah. I don't fancy a big slurry tank. When are we getting shipping to Australia for the Bandit beer? It's hard enough getting shipping to Ireland sorted out. I actually don't think I'm going to be able to figure that out for the beer side of things, because for the shipping to Ireland, like for booze, you need different labels and different, like they've got different laws for the labeling of their alcohol, which I think I would have to label my stuff going out to Ireland in the same way they need it. I think. I've not. It's real complicated with tax and stuff, so every time I look into it I get bored and don't bother. Have I considered AI for the cows? No. Getting my head around trying to figure out bulls for a starter. Shipping to Australia is expensive, exactly. Am I driving the Defender to New Zealand? Absolutely not. It hardly makes it out of Perthshire without breaking down. Anyway. Cheers for watching. There'll be a video tomorrow morning, still need to make it, but as per usual, Sunday morning. See it. If you're not already, click like on your way out. And also go and buy yourself a case of Bandit beer and some glasses for your Christmas. The glasses, I think, will be sold out before Christmas. The hoodies, I've got more blue and green ones coming, people have been asking, and a few adult kids, 11 to 13 coming. Because they sold out and people have been emailing me asking about them. So I've got a few more coming to them. And I don't think this batch of beer will sell out by Christmas. We touch and go. Anyway, cheers for watching. See you all tomorrow.